All right, all right, all right. Let's tap in. Let's tap in. Let's tap in. Welcome to Boxing Legends Lounge, man, where we talk nothing but boxing and only boxing. Real talk boxing. Listen, we have been informed. It's official. Officially official. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Now, listen, I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited for this fight. I'm excited for this fight. And the reason why I'm excited for this fight is because we get to see two guys in their primes fighting each other. We get a chance to see who's better. And that's what we want to see in the sport of boxing. We want to see who is better. It's either put up or shut up, glove up or sit down on the couch. Like I said, glove up or sit down on the couch. So first, let's start with this. Shout out to both fighters for taking this fight. It's a very dangerous fight, right? This fight can go either way for either fighter. Shout out to Shakur for signing that contract. Shout out to Teofimo for being a man of his word. Damn, they really banned you, bro. Hell yeah, man. They banned me out here, man. They really banned me, man. But we here, man. We lit. We lit, man. Share the live, share the stream with somebody. Let them know we here, man. If you know anybody on TikTok, man, that's part of the community, let them know. Thanks, homie. I'm here. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the page, man. Subscribe to the channel. All right, let's talk about it, man. Like I said, shout out to both fighters for taking on this fight. Shout out to Shakur. Shout out to Teo. You know, everyone was criticizing Teo and saying, Teo just talking. Teo ain't gonna make the fight happen. Teo just like to promote. Teo's the promoter now. He's not a boxer. Teo's just a talker. He's a what they call it, Twitter fingers. But shout out, we gotta respect this move. I gotta respect it. I like this move. I like this move. Now here's my thing. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it, right? Let's get into the fight. My thing with Teofimo is this: athletic, skills, right? We can't deny his resume, what he's done. Defeated Lomachenko, defeated Jermaine Ortiz. Some people felt like he might have lost that fight. My question to Teofimo is this: where's your mindset at, bro? Where's your confidence at? All right. Now I know he fought Arnold Barboza, but prior to that last fight that he had prior to that, and he was saying, do I still have it? As a fighter, man, listen, bro, there's certain things that I just believe we don't say. Not, at least not on camera, y'all. At least not on TV for the world to hear it. Do I still have it? Do I still got it? When you start second guessing your stuff, when you start questioning your abilities, you start questioning your skills, that lets me know, hey, listen, you might not be as confident. And going and fighting Shakur, he has to have all the confidence in the world. Because Shakur's a confident guy. Shakur's a confident guy. Shakur has the mentality where it's like, all right, if you say you better than me, you got to show me. That's the mindset that Shakur has. If you say you the man, then show me. If you feel like you can beat me, then show me. Now, I don't know if y'all seen this, right? I don't know if y'all seen this. Teofimo said that he's going to either knock Shakur Stevenson out or he's going to stop him on the stool. He said, let me say it one more time. Let me say it with my chest. He said he's either going to knock Shakur Stevenson out or Shakur Stevenson is going to quit on the stool. Now, I don't know about y'all, but them words right there, if I was Shakur, I'm taking that real personal. You said what? You said what? Teo's not stopping shit. Right? That's how I'm looking at it. If I'm Shakur, I'm taking it personal. What, you gonna make me quit? You gonna stop what? Negro, you ain't stopping a motherfucking thing, man. You ain't stopping Nathan's. Brother, man, you not stopping nothing. So, in my opinion, I don't think Teofimo's going to knock out Shakur. Shakur's too good. He's too crafty. I don't believe he's going to knock out Shakur Stevenson. I don't think that's going to happen. What I think is going to happen is it's going to go to a split decision. That's what I believe. Now, we know that in boxing, everybody has a puncher's chance, but Shakur Stevenson is too good, too skilled. He's just too good. Shakur has one of the best IQs in the game. He has one of the best defense in the game. Now, we could talk about his offense. Now, he don't throw as many punches. He don't throw punches in bunches. He's not a high-volume puncher. We know those things. But in the same token, I've heard fighters who have said Shakur is one of the hardest guys to hit. He's too good. He's too crafty. It's really difficult once you get in it. Like, looking at it from the outside is different from being inside. So a lot of people, they done said, look, I've watched Shakur from the outside, and I'm like, how come they not hitting him? And then I got in there with him, started sparring him, and I see what everyone else was seeing. I see what everyone else was seeing. Now, here's my thing, y'all. Here's my thing. Teofimo, if he goes into this fight thinking he's going to outbox Shakur, it's the wrong game plan. But I don't think that Teofimo has that mindset. I think Teofimo's mindset is this. I'm going to have to bring the fight to Shakur. I'm going to have to bring the fight to him. I have to make it ugly. I got to make him uncomfortable. Now, this is the thing. Let's use that word, uncomfortable, right? You know, there's that saying you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Can Teofimo make Shakur feel uncomfortable? That's the question. Teo says he's not going to try to box him because that's not going to work. And Teo's the type of fighter like he likes to put on a show. So trying to go tick for tack with Shakur, he knows that's not going to work. So how else do I beat Shakur? I gotta turn it into a dogfight. I gotta make it messy. I gotta take him out of his element. I gotta throw punches in bunches. I had to throw punches in bunches. I had to take him out of his element. That is the thing that Shakur has to do. I mean, Teofimo has to do. Teofimo has to take Shakur into deep waters. Now, the thing is, can Teofimo break through Shakur's defense? Can Teofimo break through Shakur's defense? Does he have the ability to make Shakur get uncomfortable? Shakur is a pace fighter, which means he fights at his own rhythm. He's not going to let you just come in there and force him to fight the fight that you want him to fight. Shakur, we know what we're going to get from Shakur. I kind of already expect the version of Shakur that I'm going to see. Because Shakur, his mindset is like Floyd in a sense, right? When we're talking about money made. Not Pretty Boy Floyd was different. Pretty Boy Floyd was different. We talking about money made. Money made was, you're not going to make me fight the way you want me to fight. I know you want to come in here and throw bombs. You want me to exchange. You want me to get out of my defensive habits that I have, this great, an elusive defense that I have. You want me to slug it out with you. That's not going to happen, Chad. That's not going to happen. And Shakur has that same type of mindset. You're not going to make me fight the fight that you want me to fight, bro. It's just simple. So how else does Teofimo make Shakur get uncomfortable? How else does Teofimo make Shakur fight the fight that he wants to fight? That's hard to do. With a guy like Shakur, that is very hard to do because he's so defensively sound, because he's so strategic in his game. Like, Shakur is hard-headed when it comes to his defense. Pause. When it comes to his boxing style, let me say it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Hear me out. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a great way. He's hard-headed, when it comes to his boxing style. Is that at 140? Yeah, 140. Now, we know that Shakur wasn't cracking nothing at 135. I don't think he's gonna knock out Teofimo. I think he takes Teofimo to the 12th round. And I think it's gonna be a split decision. I know everyone's saying, oh, Shakur is gonna beat him easily and stuff like that. I just want to put a little bit more respect on Teofimo's name, on his boxing ability, because of everything that he's done, his resume. I want to put a little bit more respect on Teofimo's name. I know people don't want to give Teo the credit. I know people say, oh, Teofimo lost to Kambosos. Then arguably everyone has beaten Kambosos, right? All the elite fighters that Kambosos has fought, he's lost to, outside of Teofimo Lopez. Now, I know they say Teofimo was dealing with a lot of health issues at the time. He was dealing with, I think he had some personal issues going on with his marriage at the time. I think he had some medical issues going on when he fought Kambosos and stuff like that. He's talking about his lungs and everything like that. But I cannot disregard what Teofimo is as a boxer and what he has done in a boxing game. This on paper, this may be Shakur's toughest task. On paper, this may be Teofimo's toughest task. We don't know. We have to see. We don't know, and we have to see. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Now, let's look at it. Let's think about this, right? Now, hear me out when I say this. I know there's Shakur fans out there, right? I know I love Shakur and everything like that. I get it. My thing with Shakur is this, right? Shakur is so gifted, and he's so gifted defensively that it also hinders him offensively. It kind of, right, like Shakur, to me, wants to fight the perfect fight. The perfect hit and not get hit, but more of not getting hit. I mean, more of, not getting hit, right? He doesn't really capitalize, or he doesn't, to me personally, he doesn't do enough when we talk about his offensive game. Great defense on the top of the food chain when it comes to defense. I just feel like in this fight, because remember, styles make fights, y'all. So I just believe in this fight right here. This fight right here. I'm not talking about the Josh Padleys. I'm not talking about the De Los Santos fight. I'm not talking about any of those fights. I'm talking about this fight specifically right here. This fight specifically right here. Shakur's defense has to match his offense because of the fighter that Teofimo is. This is KP. I already knew it was you, KP. I already knew. I know your lingo. He got to be more aggressive, I believe, with Teo. Yes. And when I say be aggressive, OG, when I say be aggressive, or when you say be aggressive, I don't mean take unnecessary risk. What I mean is you got to show a sense of dominance. You can't be too passive. Like, you can't be too defensively sound to where you become too passive on your offense game. Show more ring generalship. Yes. Showing more ring generalship is important fighting Teofimo Lopez. Like, for example, let's go to the Bud fight. When Terence Crawford fought Canelo, Andre Ward interviewed Terence Crawford, and he said, when you came out in that first round, you had a different type of demeanor than I've seen in your previous fights. And Terence Crawford said, yeah, I wanted Canelo to understand that I'm not running, I'm not ducking, I'm here to fight. I want Canelo to know that he's not going to try to bully me. He's not going to push me around. I'm not the little guy. We're not having that today. And I'm not comparing Bud and Shakur skill level, because that's where everyone wants to jump to. I want Shakur to have the mentality, to have that type of mindset going into the fight the way Terence Crawford went into the fight against Canelo. So that's what I'm talking about, is the mindset. You're not coming in here bullying me. You're not going to push me around. This is not going to be a running show. And remember, Terence Crawford was saying all interview, leading up to the fight, I don't have to knock Canelo out. I just have to beat him. But that I just have to beat him was not a passive, I just have to beat him. Do you think Bud is feeding him that dog? I think he is. We've seen Terence Crawford give Shakur constructive criticism after the fight. We've seen Terence Crawford tell Shakur, listen, you got to let your hands go, bro. You're fighting a great defensive fight. You're making them miss. You throw your shots here and there, but you're not throwing shots that's making it your fighter think twice. You're not throwing shots. You're not throwing punches and bunches to offset your opponent. And Terence Crawford has also stated, listen, you got to remember, you're not just fighting your opponent. You're fighting the crowd, and you're also fighting the judges. Because sometimes the judges can be influenced by the crowd. Come on, don't let Legend come up here and start cooking. Sometimes the judges can be influenced by the crowd, by the oohs and the ahs. It makes it seem like the other fighters doing a little bit more than what they're actually doing. Some judges score based on aggressiveness. So you could be making a fighter miss a whole bunch of shots, but if you're not really throwing nothing back, they may give it, one judge or two judges may give it to the aggressor. Cook, Legend. Come on, we cook it, KP. We cook it. I know a lot of people that go for Shakur and they love Shakur. I get it. I understand it. But you got to set your emotions away from logic. Take the emotion out of it. Take the emotion out of it. And really dissect the fight. Really dissect the tools that we have seen from him lately. Like Shakur would have a screwdriver in his hand, but he got the hammer inside the toolbox, but don't want to use the hammer, but the hammer is going to get the job done. That's what I'm talking about. He got other tools that he can use, but he's only using the screwdriver because the screwdriver is a little bit more safe to utilize right now. Come on, let me cook. Let Legend cook. He got other tools in the toolbox, but he wants to use the tools that he might feel is a little bit more safe, even if that means the job will get done, but he's okay with the job getting done and going to the distance. He's okay with the job being done, but going to the distance. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying Shakur has to come out and he has to start being a knockout artist. What I am saying is that use those tools in your toolbox and show a sense of dominance, show a sense of assertiveness, show a sense of aggression, and let Teofimo know you are not the head honcho in this fight. You are not the A-side in this fight. You are not the bigger dog in this fight. I don't care if you fought Lomachenko. Lomachenko is not me. I don't care if you fought Jermaine Ortiz. He's not me. None of those guys is me. You got to show me. And that's why I say, so when we talk about Terence Crawford being in Shakur Stevenson's camp, these are the things that I'm looking for. We know that Shakur is talented. Everyone knows that Shakur is talented. You know that Shakur is talented. I know that Shakur is talented. We all know they ain't listening. We all know that Shakur is a talented fighter. But we've all seen Shakur be very passive aggressive, right? Like he has to be a little bit more passionate. Shakur got the problem to saying he will KO everybody. I mean, listen, as a fighter, I get it, right? You're gonna say certain things, right? Some things you really believe, right? As a competitor, you're going to say some things, right? Like y'all know when we play ball or you play football or basketball or whatever, even if you playing a game, I'm gonna bust your ass. You don't know, but you feel it. I'm gonna bust your ass. Pause. I'm gonna smoke you. I'm gonna blow you out. Pause. Right? I was just telling my little cousin the other day. My little cousin came around. He's like, "Yo, cuz, I smoke you in basketball." I said, "Lil, you don't know, man. I'm gonna beat you by 20." Did I beat him by 20? Nah, I beat him by 15. Right? It was still a blowout. Pause. It was still a blowout. But as a competitor, we're gonna talk, right? You have to talk. And we got to remember this is the sport of boxing. Right? This is the sport of boxing. Where we like if I always say this, man, if you're too sensitive in boxing, bro, it's not the sport for you. I think that's why a lot of people don't like him now. But yeah, but y'all gotta like listen, Shakur's not the first person and he's not the last to say, hey, I'm gonna knock you out. Right? I'm stopping you. Brian Norman was just on a spree talking about he was going to knock out Devin Haney. And we seen how that played out. We seen a lot of fighters, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to take your head off. You going to the ambulance. I'm going to break your jaw. We done seen that. Did it happen? No. Some cases it happened. Right? And then we got to remember there's the selling point of the fight. Right? There's a selling point of the fight. Like nobody wants to see a very passive press conference where two guys is so friendly and they're shaking hands and they're like, yeah, you know, this is going to be a good fight. I respect that. Hell no, we don't want to see that, man. I don't want to see that. I want you to talk your talk. I don't want, listen, I'm going to respect you. I respect you for getting in the ring. I respect you for taking a challenge. That's as far as it's going. I respect you for taking the challenge. I respect you for signing the contract. But all that other stuff is going out the window. Leading up to the fight, to the press conference, to the actual fight, I'm talking my talk, man. Look, I'm not going to talk too crazy because you don't want to look too crazy out here. But everything leading up to the fight, I'm going to let you, again, you're going to feel this presence. I'm going to show you that I'm going to show you that I'm not scared of you. Right? Remember, look. Think about this. OG, think about this, OG. Think about this, right? Now, I can't talk too crazy like Berlanga. Think about this. When Terrence Crawford, the first press conference when Terrence Crawford, when he fought Canelo, and Terrence Crawford was a bit, he was a little bit passive. Right? He didn't really show aggression like that. He wasn't talking that talk that everyone wanted to see. And then it got back to Terrence Crawford. And Terrence Crawford, the second press conference, he pressed up on Canelo and he pushed him and he walked him down. There's a selling point of the fight, right? So you got to talk your talk. And Terrence Crawford had to step to Canelo like, yo, bro, ain't nobody scared of you. He had this, listen, ain't nobody scared of you, man. What he said? He said there was talks about that I was scared of Canelo. And what he said, I ain't scared of shit. He said, I ain't scared of shit. That's the type of mindset that I need Shakur to have going into this fight. I'm not saying that he has to be anything outside of being Shakur. Because I don't think that Terrence Crawford leading up to the fight to Canelo, he was anything outside of Terrence Crawford. I think he stood on business. Even when he fought Errol Spence, right? I'm not trying to compare the fighting style. I want to compare the mentality. This is the mentality that I'm looking for. Terrence Crawford was trying to be humble, right? Y'all remember when he fought Spence, he was trying to be humble. He was trying to be cool. And then Spence Peoples was like, yo, you're going to get fried. And Terrence Crawford was like, we get active over here. Y'all know we get active over here. Team Terrence Crawford, get active over here. That's the type of energy I need to see for Shakur. Like, get to that point where it's like, all right, enough talking. We get active. Enough of that chit-chat. We getting active. And I'm putting you to sleep. Talk that talk, bro. I'm all good when a boxer is saying, I'm going to knock you out. I'm not here to go, like, I respect, even though check this out. Even though Brian Norman got dropped and he got outboxed and outclassed to a degree, right? I respect the fact that he said, yo, I'm not here to go 12 rounds, bro. I don't got that type of time. Now think about it. To everybody that's watching, think about this. If you ever had a fight in the street, are you trying to fight for 5 minutes? Hell no, man. If you ever had a fight in the street outside of your home, and somebody run up on you, whatever, and y'all getting the boom, 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 and y'all start throwing their hands, are you trying to are you trying to show the crowd how good your fighting skills is, or you trying to get the man up out of there? I'm trying to knock you out. I don't know about y'all, but listen, I got places to be, right? I got places to be, right? That shit never lasts more than 3 minutes. You feel me? You feel me, OG? It don't never last no more than 3 minutes. I got places to be, people to see. I need to go home to my bed, bro. I get active. You understand what I'm saying? Like Terrence Crawford said, I get active. Slaps the table, right? I get active. So I don't have a problem with Shakur. I've never had a problem with Shakur saying, I'm going to knock you out, bro. You're supposed to have that mentality as a fighter. That doesn't mean let me go in there and look for the knockout. But I truly believe if you mess around and you make the wrong move, I'm knocking you out, bro. If you don't come prepared in this fight, I'm knocking you out, bro. If you don't come ready, I'm knocking you out. If you make a mistake, I'm knocking you out. If you don't come prepared for this fight, I'm knocking you out. I cannot get mad at Shakur for having that type of mindset. Now, we say, oh, he got pillow hands, he ain't cracking nothing. Okay, but that don't mean that I can't hit you with a good shot. That don't mean I can't catch you slipping. Brian Norman told Devin Haney that he couldn't drop him. And Devin Haney said what? Remember this day. Remember this day. Remember, come back here after the fight is over. And Brian Norman got his nose broke. Brian Norman, when he got dropped, he looked up at Devin Haney like, right? He looked at Devin Haney like, oh shit. I didn't know you can hit that hard. I didn't know you had that in your boy. Right? This is not part of what you talking about, but is there an age cap to becoming a professional boxer? Nah, there's no age gap, bro. You can become a professional boxer at 40 years old if you want to. There ain't no age gap. Good time, not a long time. That's facts. So again, I'm not mad at any fighter that goes in with the type of mentality of saying, hey, look, I'm knocking you out. But I ain't trying to sit here for 12 rounds. And again, this is what they criticize about Shakur and even a Devin Haney. People criticize them that, y'all don't take it to the next level. Y'all cruise, right? Because you got a good lead, you cruise all the way to the 12th round. Get the fight over, man. Get the fight over, bro. You got people to see and places to go. Right? You got people to see and places to go. Get the fight over with. Get the fight over with. Man, if y'all could do me a favor, man, just hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. If you are tuned in, hit the thumbs up, please. I appreciate y'all. And I gotta get used to the whole YouTube thing. You know what I'm saying? I be used to the tapping the screen. I mean the TikTok. So used to people double tapping the screen. But do me a favor and hit the like button. You know what I mean? Hit the like button. If you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, man. But yeah, we know that. Right, so let's get to the details of the fight. I've said this earlier, right? I've stated this before. I think that Teofimo is a lot more elusive than what people give him credit for. I think he's better than what people actually give him credit for. Like I believe, in my opinion, a lot of people say this is an easy fight for Shakur. This is an easy win. I done heard people say it's going to be a 12-0. I done heard people say 8-4. I done heard people say 9-3. Now, if you ask me, I think it's a 50-50 fight, and I think it's a close fight. And I think the fight is going to come down to a split decision. I don't think this is going to be unanimous. I think it's going to be a split decision, bro. I think it's going to be a tough fight. I get Shakur is a great boxer in a lot of people's eyes. He's the second coming. He's the next Floyd Mayweather. He trains with Bud and all this stuff like that. He got Andre Ward in his camp. I get all of that. None of those, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, none of them is getting in the ring to fight for Shakur. I get it. He's with Bud. He got the Avengers behind him. Can't forget about Clarissa Shields, right? He got the Avengers behind him. But I cannot discredit what Teofimo has done in the boxing game. If the version of Teofimo that fought Lomachenko, if that Teofimo comes out, it may be a long night for Shakur. And I'm not going to say he's going to knock out Shakur, because I don't think he's going to knock Shakur out. He could drop him with a flash shot or something like that for sure. But if we get that version of Teofimo Lopez, y'all, it's going to be a long night for Shakur. And not to say that he can't win, but it will be a long night for Shakur. Pause. It'll be a long night for Shakur. Hands down, it will be a long night for Shakur. I think Shakur can win, but Teofimo already stated that he's not coming in this fight to play with Shakur. He's not coming into this fight to do pity pat with Shakur. He's not going to try to outbox the boxer. He's going to try to make Shakur get very, very uncomfortable. And as I stated before, can he make Shakur get uncomfortable? Shakur's the type of fighter where it's hard to make Shakur get out of his element and fight his fight and not fight his fight. Shakur almost had the mentality like Money Mayweather. Now, hear me out when I say this. I know, don't compare Shakur to Floyd. Nah, this is what I'm saying. As far as Floyd is so hard-headed that Floyd, in a good way, that Floyd is like, yo, I'm not going to fight the fight you want me to fight. Now, when he fought McDonough, okay, cool. He was did a little bit out of his element. So we could say that with William Zepeda, with Shakur, right? For a little bit out of his element. But for the most part, Shakur is going to be Shakur. Like Shakur already said, I'm not here to please the fans. I'm going to win by any means necessary. He said, F the fans. He's talking about you and I. Right? He's talking about you and I. He said, F the fans. He said, I'm not here to please y'all. I'm here to fight. I'm not here to please y'all. I'm here to fight. I'm here to win. However that looks, it don't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to look fly. It doesn't have to look flamboyant. It doesn't have to be any of those things. I'm here to win. Bud can't fight for him. Facts. Bud cannot fight for Shakur. That is facts. So I need Shakur to go into this fight, y'all, with the mentality of I'm setting the tempo from the round one. I'm setting the tone from round one. I know Teofimo plans to do that. Now, y'all remember what Mike Tyson used to say, right? Everybody got a game plan until they get hit in the mouth. Everybody got a game plan until they get hit in the mouth. Shakur. Now, when I look at the Williams Zepeda fight, let's go to the Williams Zepeda fight. I know some of y'all not going to like this. I was one of those that I said, and I believe, and I stand on this, I believe Shakur looked great in that fight. But I also said that I did not want to cap Shakur. That's his best performance of to date. But I think there's another level that Shakur can go to. Now, everybody's like, Legend, what you mean, man? He fought a great fight. What another level can he go to? Don't listen with your heart. Listen to understand. Shakur has the screwdriver in his hand, but he got the pliers, he got the hammer, he got all the other tools that he hasn't used yet. And I'm saying, the only thing that I'm saying is that I don't want to cap him as saying that's the best that he can do. If y'all say by metrics, if y'all say that's his greatest fight, and that's the best that he can do, then y'all don't really see the full potential of Shakur. Y'all don't really see the full potential of Shakur. I see another level of Shakur. The same way I see there's another gear in Devin Haney. There's another level that I believe that both of those fighters can go to. I just don't believe they have gone there yet. Especially Shakur. Now, Teofimo may be the guy to bring it out of Shakur. He may be the guy that makes Shakur go into that toolbox and go get the rest of the tools. He may be that guy. He may be the one. I just think that Shakur has so much potential, bro. Like the potential that I believe that Shakur has, bro, is unbelievable, bro. It's like on a whole nother level. And they say you fight to your competition. So maybe this may be the fight that we see Shakur go to that next level. Maybe Teofimo brings out that next level of Shakur. I felt like in the Williams Zepeda fight, Shakur fought a great defensive fight. But I stand on this as well. He did let his hands go a little bit more than he normally would have. And it's not to say, y'all want me to be really real honest with y'all? I believe Shakur could have stopped Williams Zepeda. I've watched the fight over, and I watched it over and over and over again. And I'm looking at it. And I'm like, listen, if Shakur would have went more to the body, I believe Shakur would have got Williams Zepeda out there. That's a credit to him. Because that's the potential that I see that he has. He was making, and when I mean get him out of there, I don't mean he had to knock him out. What I'm saying is that he could have made it so discouraging for Williams Zepeda that Williams Zepeda didn't want to, that he didn't even want to come out of the corner. And if I ever run into Shakur, I would tell him, I believe you could have stopped Williams Zepeda. I believe Shakur could have made Williams Zepeda quit on his stool, bro. Real talk. Now, I know some of y'all may not like that. Yo, what? Like, yeah, he fought a great fight. Man, what more do you want him to do? I want him to fight to the expectation that I believe that he has. Not to my expectation, to the expectation that I believe that he knows that he has. I believe Shakur knows he had that. I believe Shakur feels in his heart of hearts that he has that. Now it's just a matter of just doing it, bro. Because think about this, right? A lot of people is not that hyped about a Shakur fight. I feel like this fight right here, Shakur has to outperform, bro. Because if he does not, who's going to want to watch Shakur? People are already saying, and this is not me. This is not me saying this because I like it. Why is it bad to expect more? See, a lot of times, KP, a lot of times, people, when you expect more from a fighter, people call you a hater or they start to call you a casual. Not realizing that you can see full potential. You can see another side. You can see that they can go to another side. Think about it. If you have kids and your kids is in school, right? Your kids in school. Your kids bring home an 85. But you know how smart your child is because you watch your child. You study your child. You're going to say, son, I'm proud of you. Daughter, I'm proud of you. But I know you can bring home a 95. Because you don't want to cap your child's potential. You don't want to cap your child's greatness. You don't want to let them know, hey, this is the only place I see you at. So as a boxer fan or, a fan of the sport and someone that if you study the sport of boxing and you study these fighters, it's not a crime to have more expectations for a fighter because you see great potential in them, because you see that they can go to another level. That is not a crime. And people, when you say things like, oh, you a casual, you don't know ball, you don't know boxing, cut the cap. Because y'all love to cap these fighters and to say, oh, once they fight a good fight or fight a fight that was better than their last performance, then we cap them. Nah, bro, there's more that you can do because you haven't even fought the best yet. Check that out. You haven't even fought the best yet. And because you haven't fought the best yet, I cannot just say that you are great. Like, I can't just say, oh, you is just great. No, I need you to do that against the elite fighters. Do that against the top names. Do that against the top dogs. Do that against the top dogs. Other people who gas them up, be real. Do that against the top dogs. If you're that great, do it against the top level opponents. And I believe he is. And I believe he has it. I believe he has it. So when I give my take and I'm saying, look, that's the best Shakur that we've seen up to date. But is that the best version of Shakur? Two different things, y'all. That is the best version of Shakur that we have seen up to date. But is that the best version of Shakur? You got to be honest with yourselves. You have to be honest with yourselves. Is that the best version of Shakur? No, I don't think that's the best version of Shakur. I think that was the best version of Shakur up to date. When he fought William Zepeda, great fight, good fight, great victory, a great name on his resume. A lot of people prior to that had William Zepeda beating Shakur, right? So great fight. But that's the best version of Shakur up to date. But that's not the best version of Shakur. I'm not going to say that's the best version of Shakur because I don't even think Shakur believed that is the best version of himself because he said he took way too much punishment. He got hit more than normal. So if we're saying that is the best version of Shakur, period, then we are doing a disservice to Shakur Stevenson. I feel like that all of the top dogs don't want to fight each other. Well, we start here. Well, we started with Bud and Canelo, but this is another one. The top dog versus another top dog. Teofimo is one of the top guys at the 140 division, if not the top guy at the 140 division. Shakur Stevenson is arguably the top guy at 135. So it starts here. Let's see how good you really are. Let's see how good you really are. We love to put these fighters on this great pedestal, but they haven't fought each other. We haven't seen them fight another A-level fighter. I give it to Lomachenko. I give the Lomachenko win to Teofimo. You fought an elite fighter. So we can say, hey, look, Teofimo is great. Teofimo, he showed us. Because he went and he fought the best version of Lomachenko at the time. He didn't fight a washed-up Loma. When Devin Haney beat Lomachenko, Lomachenko already lost to Teofimo. So there was a blueprint on how to beat Lomachenko. Here's the thing. So can we call Haney elite because he fight top guys? I think that Haney, who's the top guys that he fought? I mean, he fought Lomachenko, right? He fought notable names, right? I believe he fought notable names. But who's the top guys? When we say top guys that Devin Haney has fought, who's the top guys that he fought? They do that now that Turkey's offering the bag. That's facts. Who's the top guys that he has fought? When he fought Lomachenko was what? 35 or something like that, right? Lomachenko was a little bit. Lomachenko did well, and a lot of people had Lomachenko winning that fight. A lot of people had Loma winning. Okay, he fought Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is not elite. He's a good name, but he's not an elite fighter. If any, and no disrespect to Regis, but I wouldn't put Regis as an elite fighter. He's a good fighter for sure, but when we talk about elite, I wouldn't say he's elite. No disrespect. So who is the elite guys? Brian Norman is not an elite fighter. On paper, he did not beat Ryan Garcia. His resume as far as notable names, we have to give Devin Haney a round of applause. He takes these fights. He takes these fights, and it's strategical in a sense, right? And we give credit to Bill Haney because Bill Haney, I don't know. Bill Haney I don't think he's ever fought, right, in the ring, competitively at least, but he has an eye for boxing. Bill Haney knew he saw something in Brian Norman Jr. where he's like, my son's going to beat him, bro. It's not even going to be close. He saw something. The same way he saw something in Canelo, and why he believed that Bud could beat Canelo decisively, definitively. Bill just has that eye, right? He has that eye. I don't know where he gets the eye from, but he has that eye, right? He has that eye. Who would Haney have to fight to become elite like Tank? I believe fighting Tank, Tio, Shakur, at some point in time, hopefully him and Boots can get a fight at 154. I know Boots is not coming back down to 147, but hopefully he can go to 154. He conquered that 147 division. Because I think Devin can actually bulk up to 154, 160. I think Devin can move that far up in weight. I think he can go to 154 and maybe 160. Maybe 160 might be pushing it. But we've seen Devin Haney come in fight night at 160. So I believe he can go to that. Now, the only thing is, can he start to take the power at 160? It's one thing to dish it out. It's another one to be able to receive it back now. So can Devin Haney withstand the punishment at 154 and 160? That's something that we have to see. But those will be the guys. Fight Tank. If Tank doesn't retire, if he can get that fight happen. But I don't even think he has to fight Tank. I don't think he has to fight Tank to solidify himself, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody has to fight Tank to solidify himself. I think Tank has to do more of the solidifying. And I love Tank, right? I love Tank. I think Tank is one of my favorite fighters. But I think Tank has to do more of the solidifying than T.O. and Devin Haney. Because we can arguably say that Teofimo's resume is better than Tank. We can arguably say that Devin Haney's resume is better than Tank. Tank has beaten 8 world champions, right? He has beaten 8 world champions. Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios, Hector Garcia, Rolly Romero. I think Pitbull Cruz was on there. Santa Cruz was on there. So Tank has been 8 world champions. So I don't want to diminish Tank's resume, but I think when we talk about who resume is better, I think that Teofimo's resume is better, and I believe that Devin Haney's resume is better as well too. So I think Tank has to fight those guys to be considered more elite than anything, than any of them having to fight Tank, if y'all get what I'm trying to say. So Devin, fight the Shakurs, fight the T.O.s, fight, even if I throw Richardson Hitchens in there. I like that matchup. I think Richardson Hitchens is a dope fight as well too. And then again, if he conquers that 154, get that rematch with Ryan, right? Because we want to see that. We want to see that fight. Richardson Hitchens Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. We want to see that fight. So I think that's a fight that needs to happen that, can put a stamp and put a hush to things. And I think for Shakur as well, I think we need to see these fights from Shakur. Fighting Teofimo is a good move. And if he beats Teofimo, what can we say? Right? What can we say? If he beats Teofimo, what else is there to say? He went up to 140. He beat the man that everyone says is arguably probably the king of 140, which is Teofimo Lopez, right? If he beats Teo, and then now let's say he beats Teo, and then if he beats Teo, Lamont beats Pitbull Cruz, let that happen at 140. That's a good matchup. Lamont versus Shakur Stevenson, that's a good matchup. That's a hell of a matchup. Lamont versus Shakur Stevenson, I think is a good fight. I think that's a good fight. So both guys will have to do what they have to do. That's a tough fight. That fight is fire. But how good really is Lamont? Does Lamont get past Pitbull Cruz? How good is Shakur? Does he get past Teofimo? That's like with Jared Anderson, right? Jared Anderson fought Bacoli. And he lost. Now, people was wondering, well, how good is Jared Anderson? How good is he? How good is Jared Anderson? That's why I see when people say boxing is dead, I disagree. Because I'm like, nah, boxing is lit. Boxing is more lit than ever. Boxing is more lit than ever right now. So to say that boxing is dead is cap. We're getting guys who have to protect, you're going to protect your own to a certain extent over here. Because Turkey is throwing the bag out that is almost damn near hard to refuse. You think Roach wins against Cruz? I think he should win. But it's a matter of, can Roach withstand the storm that Pitbull Cruz is going to bring? Can Roach withstand the storm that Pitbull Cruz is going to bring? Can he take the power at 140? Now, I believe that Roach has all the boxing ability and the boxing tools, the boxing smarts, the IQ to be able to beat Cruz. Cruz is very one-dimensional. but Cruz throw bombs. And Cruz is very relentless. He's very tough. And that's what makes fighters. And so Ken Roach, and I believe he will. I believe in my hearts of hearts, I believe Lamont Roach is going to find himself having to dig himself out in this fight, having to dig in this fight. I think he's going to have to go to a place where he's not settling. And he's going to be in that line of fire. And I'm looking at the way Roach is training. And I'm looking at how he's putting on muscle mass. And that leads me to believe that Lamont he's preparing his body to go to war and then be able to take a level of physicality from Isaac Pitbull Cruz because he's going to need it. And also, Lamont is naturally the bigger guy. He's bigger than Pitbull Cruz, right? He's bigger than Pitbull Cruz. And I think in this fight, Lamont has to do some check hooks. Because Pitbull Cruz is a come forward fighter, he's a straightforward fighter. I believe that Lamont is going to have to work off his jab and hook off the jab. Work off the jab and hook off the jab, right? So hook off the jab. And then he's going to have to be able to spin Cruz. So boom, bow, spin up out of there. Throw your two when you get in range. He's going to have to, when he's in the pocket, don't headhunt. He's going to have to throw shots to the body, right? These little pocket shots here. Boom. And he's going to have to stay disciplined with keeping his hand up. So if I'm Lamont Roach, I have my hands up. If we in the pocket, I have my hands up. I'm catching shots, and at the same time, I'm shooting. Boom, to the body. Catch it. Boom, to the body. Catch it. To the body. That's the type of game plan. And then, but also, don't stay there too long. Get back in that center of the ring and use your jab. Now, to me, let's think about this, right? I don't think either guy has spectacular footwork. I think Lamont has decent footwork, but to me, Lamont is like he's a passive-aggressive fighter, which means is like Pitbull Cruz is a full throttle in your chest, and I'm coming to fight you. Lamont is aggressive, but he's kind of passive with it. And what I mean by passive with it, I don't mean soft. I don't mean, he doesn't have that killer mindset. What I mean by that is he's not gonna force anything, but at the same time he's gonna be kind of strategical there, right? He's gonna stay in that fire with you, but he's also gonna be smart. Think about when he fought Tank. Think about this. Lamont didn't take the lead in the fight. Lamont waited for Tank. If y'all go back and watch that fight, Lamont reacted to everything that Tank did. Yo, what up? What's good? Lamont reacted to everything that Tank did. So Lamont sat there and he countered Tank. So with Cruz, I think that Lamont has to be first. And he can have moments where he's countering. But I think he's going to have to be first to offset Pitbull Cruz. You got to reset Pitbull Cruz. He got to be able to reset Pitbull Cruz. Throwing the jab, turning him, giving him angles, clinching at times, pushing him back. And that's why I say when I'm looking at Lamont's training and I see the way Lamont is bulking up and he's putting on his size, I'm like, yeah, he's looking to back Pitbull Cruz up off him. He's looking to push him off him because Pitbull Cruz is a strong. Pitbull Cruz is Pitbull. He's a Pitbull. He's strong, and again, Pitbull Cruz is coming from the first round all the way to the 12th round. So I think he's prepared himself to kind of be able to withstand, like have his arms, be able to withstand some shots and take boom, boom, and then being able to throw back because he's going to need it. He's going to need it, man. And if Lamont does get dropped, it'll be with an overhand right. It would be if he does get dropped. Now, I'm not saying Lamont is going to get dropped. I believe just looking at the fight and watching Lamont's defense, I believe if he does get dropped, it would be with an overhand right by Pitbull Cruz. Lamont has a tendency to lower his hands at times, and sometimes he doesn't do a whole bunch of head movements. Like sometimes Lamont keeps his head on that center line, and I think an overhand right is there for the making. Now I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I feel like, look, y'all might not agree with this take. As one-dimensional as Pitbull Cruz is, Lamont has to fight a perfect fight. Let me say that one more time. As one-dimensional as Pitbull Cruz is, Lamont has to fight a perfect fight. And I say that to say this. Pitbull Cruz is not the type of guy or the type of fighter you want to go to deep waters with. Pitbull Cruz is not the type of fighter that you come in there and you be lackadaisical in that ring with. Pitbull Cruz is not the type of fighter that you overlook. Now, people say, oh, well, El Rayo, look, did you see what El Rayo did to Pitbull Cruz? Yes, I did. I did. But El Rayo, to me, has better footwork than Lamont Rose. El Rayo is not a stationary fighter. El Rayo, when he fought Pitbull Cruz, he was on his feet. He was moving. He was jabbing. If y'all go and watch and really study Lamont Roach fights, he kind of fights the same way in all his fights. Not saying it's one dimensional, but he kind of fights the same way, right? Like, you know, he walks you down, he stays in the pocket, he picks your shots, he counters and stuff like that. Lamont almost fights the same style in majority of his fights. He's not really like when he fought Tank, I saw the same fight that he fought against Jamel Herring. He just lost. He stood in the pot. When he fought Tank, I saw the same version when Lamont fought Hector Garcia. Not saying it was bad, but I'm just talking about as far as the fight style. Now, he might be able to get away with this style in this fight because style makes fights. He might be able to get away with this style because he is naturally the bigger guy. And what you want to try to do is you want to try to keep Pitbull Cruz at a certain range, but then you want to get times where you allow Pitbull Cruz to smother his shots because the shorter your shots are, the less effective it is. Yo, Isaac, what's good? What's good? Y'all gotta let me, if y'all hear from TikTok, y'all gotta let me know who you is. So I know who I'm talking. I know KP was in the building, then K Seuss is in the building. Got Isaac here. All right. So Lamont Roach, if you watch his fights, go watch the Hector Garcia fight. It's kind of similar to how he fought Tank. Counters. He likes to allow you to make mistakes and then make you pay. But I feel that in this fight, the shots that's going to be effective for Lamont Roach is his jab, hooking off the jab, and body shots. He got to slow Pitbull Cruz down. He has to take his legs from underneath him. If he wants to be effective and he wants the fight to go, I wouldn't say easy, but a little bit easier than what he expects it to go, body shots. He has to take Pitbull Cruz because if he's able, and I believe Lamont hits hard. I believe he can crack. I believe he is hard. So if he wants to slow that movement down from Pitbull Cruz, I believe he's going to have to take his legs, get those body shots. When he's in range, those little pocket shots, bow, that hurts, right? You create enough distance with your elbow like this, bow, those shots hurt. As I believe if he can do that, he could probably potentially maybe stop Cruz if he's able to take Cruz legs from underneath him. Now we know Pitbull Cruz, if bro's the shit, man. That dude, that Pitbull Cruz don't get tired. He reminds me, as far as conditioning, he reminds me of Benavides as far as conditioning. The man just don't get tired. The man don't get tired. Let's see. I don't think Roach. Let me see. I don't think Roach can't. I don't think Roach can't go for the kill with Cruz. They will. They won't work. He has a lot out. He has to outbox him and set his own pace to the fight. Because if he fights like Pitt, he will get KO. Now, for sure, I don't think, and that's what I was saying earlier, right? I think that Lamont Roach has to stay off the ropes for sure. His fight is going to have to be in the center of the ring. Pitbull Cruz is very effective when he's able to put you on your back foot and he's able to get you against the ropes. Lamont Roach fight is going to have to be in that center of that ring and giving angles all around that ring. He has to stay off the ropes. He has to stay off the ropes. For a fact. So fighting in that middle of the ring, fighting in the center of the ring is going to be where Lamont fight needs to be. And do I think he can do it? Yeah. Do I think he can do it? Yeah. I think that Pitbull Cruz speed might surprise Lamont Roach in this fight. I watched Pitbull Cruz. And I watched it with Pitbull Cruz has some speed to his pop. Like he has some speed behind his punches, man. Not the fastest, but he does have some whipping shots. He has some speed behind. And remember, it's always the shots that you don't see. And the beauty about Pitbull Cruz is that he throws shots in bunches. So there will be a shot that Lamont Roach is not going to see. The question is, does Lamont Roach have the chin to be able to take those punches? That's what we want to see. Does he have the chin to be able to take those shots? Can he put on a boxing clinic? Can he put on a masterclass? Speed and power, and for sure he will catch Roach off guard. I believe that Pitbull Cruz can catch Lamont with something, right? Because of the volume of punches that he throws. And again, he throws punches in bunches. So there is going to be a shot that Lamont is going to get hit with. Now, can he withstand those shots? That's the question. I think that's what we want to see, right? I think everyone wants to see, is Lamont really who he says he is, or did Tank have an off night, right? I think that's what everyone wants to know. Did Tank have an off night, or is Lamont really everything that he says he is? Because now a lot of people are going to say, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, let's say if Lamont, and I think Lamont knows he can't lose this fight either. Because I think if he knows that if he loses this fight, a lot of deals is off the table, right? That's number one. Number two, if Lamont loses this fight, a lot of the Tank Boy fans, are going to come back. They're going to say, oh, I told you Tank had an off night. Because you see what Tank did when Tank fought Pitbull Cruz, he beat him with one arm. Tank beat him with one arm. Tank had an off night. That's why in this fight, I believe there's more pressure on Lamont than there is Pitbull Cruz. Because Pitbull Cruz already lost. He already has his loss. Lamont has a loss as well, too. But because he lost to Jamel Herring, who Shakur demolished, by the way, right? Lamont Roach, this is a win. This is a must win for Lamont Roach. Because if Lamont loses to Pitbull Cruz, I don't think people are going to want to see Lamont fight Tank again. Because a lot of people, what a lot of people do? We know what they're going to do. A lot of people's going to go back and watch the Tank fight and Lamont fight and be like, damn, Tank really beat him. They're going to be like, Tank really beat him. I had it wrong. Because y'all know in boxing, there's a lot of flippy floppy stuff going on. A lot of people said Tank lost against Pitbull. Well, I've heard more people say that Tank won, but I heard people say that Tank and Tank didn't lose to Pitbull Cruz. Yeah, watch that fight. Tank didn't lose to Pitbull Cruz. He outboxed that man with one arm. The reason why a lot of people felt like Tank lost is because they expected Tank to knock out Pitbull Cruz because no one knew who Pitbull Cruz was. And the fact that Pitbull Cruz went the distance with Tank, a lot of people was like, oh man, Tank lost because he didn't knock him out. We get spoiled with always seeing a guy knocking a person out. And when it's a close fight or it goes the distance, we automatically associate that with a loss. And we got to stop doing that as American boxing fans and fans, period. We have to be true to the sport, right? We have to be true to the sport. So with that being said, I think Lamont Roach should beat Pitbull Cruz. Does he? We have to see. I believe he can actually make the fight easy. But does he? Right? We can speculate and we can say what Lamont should do, and we can have an idea. We don't know how Pitbull Cruz is going. Well, I know Pitbull Cruz is not coming to box, and I don't think he's coming into the fight to outbox Lamont Roach. I think Pitbull Cruz might show us a little bit more than what he showed us in the past, as far as maybe head movement, right? Probably taking his head off that center line, doing that, the Mike Tyson, the peekaboo, that peekaboo style, right? And kind of being a little bit smarter, because I know a lot of people's like, Pitbull Cruz is a dumb fighter, right? Because he fights with his head, he fights with his dome, right? But I think we might see a version of Pitbull Cruz who's a little bit smarter, but still has that same tenacity, still have that same fire to him. Still have that same fire. And I think he's going to need that in this fight. I think for sure he's going to need that in this fight. So I think this is going to be a good fight, man. Then we got Shakur Foster versus Stephen Fulton. That's a good fight. That's the fight I really want to see. Like, if there's any fight on that card that I want to see, is Shakur Foster versus Stephen Fulton. I think Frank Martin is back on that card as well, too. I think Frank Martin comes back and fight. I think Frank Martin's been out for like 2-3 years or something like that since the Tank fight. I think it's been like 2 years. So Frank Martin's on that fight. I'm interested to see how Frank Martin looks. I think Frank Martin, if he makes a statement, he can get back into the talks of possibly fighting Keyshawn Davis. I think that's a fight that the fans should see, that the fans want to see. Him and Keyshawn Davis. I think if Frank Martin wins this fight on the 6th, I think we should talk about him fighting either Keyshawn Davis or maybe fighting Richardson Hitchens. Why not? Why not? And I think it'll make more sense for Keyshawn Davis and Richardson Hitchens because of everything that Keyshawn Davis went through and what Frank Martin coming off a loss from Tank, having fought in 2 years. So I think that would be a nice fight. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. Everybody that came over from TikTok all the way over here to YouTube to find Boxing Legends Lounge, to find Legend to come hang with Legend this morning. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Listen, we only had about 4 or 5 people in here at most. But y'all know how Legend gets. Legend going to eventually take over the YouTube space. I need y'all to subscribe to the channel. Again, if you ever want to donate to the community, the Cash App is at Boxing Legends Lounge, the number 1. Not ONE, got to put the number 1. If y'all want to donate to the boxing community, you don't have to, nor am I begging. But if you want to, the Cash App is Boxing Legends Lounge, the number one. I appreciate everybody's support and tapping in with me as always. Again, we're going to take over the TikTok space. We're going to take over the YouTube space. And we're going to eventually move over to Twitch as well, too. Boxing Legend Lounge is here to stay. They can't ban me. They can't boot me out of here. I know they low-key hating because they trying to figure out, like, yo, man, Legend just came out of nowhere. Legend just came out of nowhere. Who is this guy, Legend? But we here. We're going to have one of the best communities and one of the best boxing channels. I promise that, where we talk real boxing. And y'all know how we get. If you too sensitive, don't bring your ass up here. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. Much love. And I'll see y'all tonight. Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, tap in on the YouTube page. I'm going to post it on the TikTok as well. Tap in with me at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking about more boxing. Appreciate y'all. Peace out, man.